I had such a small sample.
Welcome to St. Mary's Gymnasium here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario for Nossa AA AAA action between the St. Mary's Knights and the Superior Heights Steelhawks. I'm Tony Bonifero, joined alongside Ashton Young as usual. Aaron Richards is joining us as well today. We got Jay Houselander in studio, Shaw Houselander on a camera, and Chris Carr in the chair. And we are here covering the first semi-final game this morning. Boys, great to have you here. Looking forward to doing this with you guys all day.
Nice to be here with you, Bono.
Superior Heights has jumped out to an early 11-6 lead. Aaron, what are your thoughts so far on what we've seen for those of the people just tuning in?
Well, Superior Heights came out, guns a-blazing. They got nothing to lose. One game, you get to OFSA. It doesn't matter what the past games, regular season records, playoffs record, championship records, it doesn't matter at this point. These guys got nothing to lose and they came out and showed it early. But as we've seen in the last few minutes, St. Mary's has kind of punched back and they got themselves back in this game. And they still trail 11-9, but this game's changed in the last minute and a half here.
Tranberg with it now. Tranberg kicks it over to Greco. Greco gets reached around there by Ocampo, and that's going to be Superior Heights basketball, as that was last touched by Mary's. So Tranberg will inbound here with 3:03 to play in the first quarter. Tranberg looks. Tranberg, he finds Greco up top. Greco looks to set up the offense. He kicks it down to Rains. Rains has it. Rains back to Greco. Greco with a deep three, and that's off the mark, but a good follow. Nice board there. Back up to Greco. Greco with a nice move. Swings it to Tranberg. Tranberg tries to penetrate, but good hands there by Reese. Aaron, if you're Superior Heights, you come in this year, you've had a tough go. Barkley now has it. Barkley kicks it out to Greco. Greco looks to make something happen with it. Tranberg now. Tranberg uses the screen by Rains. Kicks it back out, by Barkley. Barkley again. Man, the hands on McKay and Ocampo, they love that little reach around tip play.
If you have guys that are are a little bit stronger on the ball, that's pretty easy to beat.
Makes
Tough defense to live with. Hey,
It's our first break here. So we're going to just like to thank a couple of our sponsors. We'd like to thank Domino's Pizza of Sault Ste. Marie and Team Essentials for sponsoring the player of the game for both teams. The player of the game will be selected by us up here, and they will receive a player of the game t-shirt courtesy of Team Essentials, as well as a medium pizza by Domino's. So we'd like to thank them for their continued support of high school athletics here in Sault Ste. Marie, as they have been constant contributors all season long throughout all sports. So we'd like to thank them very much. So with 1:05 to play, the Knights, who were down 9-0 early, have come back to tie the game 11-11. You know, Aaron, I think if you're Superior Heights here, you're just trying to calm them, right? And trying to get them back to what got them going in the first place?
Yeah, St. Mary's came out the last possession, and after a made basket, they got into their 1-2-1-1 full court press. So their coach is probably having a conversation about, let's make sure we have a guy, behind, sideline, and middle, something it took 4 minutes to answer in the city final, and also have a conversation about what we're doing on the offensive end. You can't have, pull-up jump shots. I know, Reigns is capable of making them, but you got to make sure that ball goes through the high post, whether it's high-low action, skip the ball to the backside against that 2-3 zone, or this game is going to be over quick.
Here's Ocampo with it now. Ocampo sets up the O, kicks it up top to McKay. McKay looks. He uses the big screen by Carter, goes up with the right, unable to connect. Jaden Trudeau with a great effort, and it'll be Superior Heights basketball. Jaden Trudeau is a player for the St. Mary's team who brings a ton of energy. He can jump out of the gym. He's a monster around the hoop, and he actually hit a 3 earlier too. So good start for him as Barkley now inbounds it to Reigns. Reigns looks. Reigns kicks it over to Newberry. Newberry unable to corral the pass, and it'll be St. Mary's basketball going back down the floor as Reese with the inbound. Reese kicks it into Ocampo. Kirby Ocampo with 40 seconds to play kicks it over to McKay. McKay back to Ocampo, over to Martin, into Trudeau. Trudeau gets double teamed.
That's what you need if you're Superior Heights. Speed them up.
If you're Superior Heights, you can keep them away from the basket. You're going to stay in this game, right?
Yeah, one thing we haven't really talked a whole lot about is that the Shuttleworth brothers for this Superior Heights team, arguably, the best players on this team, are out of town, and that's a huge loss for the Superior Heights team, as Tranberg now has it. Tranberg again, another play by Ocampo, kicks it out to Barkley. Barkley looks to penetrate. Barkley kicks it out to Reigns. Reigns inside, nice pass to Barkley. Barkley goes up strong off the backboard for 2. Gabe Barkley with 6 seconds to play. Ocampo now. Ocampo tries to make something happen. Deep 3, and he's going to get fouled.
You cannot have that.
No, you can, and he's going to go to the line for 3. And Aaron, we saw that yesterday as well in the that was the LaSalle St. Mary's game, I believe. When
at the half.
Yeah, LaSalle fouled when Reese Martin fired up a shot from the opposite three-point line, and he got fouled and went to the line for 3. Aaron, as a former coach yourself, that must just drive you nuts.
I don't think any of my teams have ever done that. You keep your hands off. That does not happen late in the game. If he makes a shot, you give him a high five after the whistle, not during the whistle, right? Or during the game.
Yeah. That was going to be a tough foul to take. If he makes all 3, you go down 1 at this quarter. When you played pretty well at Superior Heights, you go down 1 in this quarter. That'd be a tough pill to swallow. But even being tied is a little tough one to swallow here. That
game against LaSalle, Bono, note that there was a score differential. There was a 2-point mismatch from the scoreboard and the score sheet. And Reese Martin gets hit on the 3-pointer from his own 3-point line trying to just huck a shot up. So that turned into a 5-point swing that instead of St. Mary's being down 7 points, they're only down 1 at the half, which was huge.
Yeah. No, absolutely. After the first quarter of play, we have a tie game, 13-13. We're going to toss it over to Ashton Young to help pay some bills.
Hey guys, and we just like to, at Sioux Sports TV here, we just like to thank our sponsors of Thompson Hardwood Flooring and Refinishing. custom installer, restore, center, finisher. And MaximusRose.com. No brokers the same. They've earned their stripes by doing things differently, specializing in benefits and pension plans. Visit MaximusRose.com today for more information. Also, if you're interested in having your business highlighted here on Sioux Sports TV, contact Sioux Sports at siouxsports@gmail.com.
So this is the semifinal game between St. Mary's and Superior Heights. It is a rematch of the city finals. Aaron, you want to kind of talk about how both these teams got here today?
Yeah, so St. Mary's came out and they played the Chippewa Raiders from North Bay, the NDA rep. They were successful in the yesterday afternoon matinee game. North Bay had a tremendous season. The Raiders were 22-0 in their regular season for the last 2 years. Strong team, but St. Mary's just kind of blew it open in the second half. And then they had a tough one last night against LaSalle. LaSalle led at half, and then St. Mary's fell back into that 2-3, and they were able to play in front of their home fans last night, and they found themselves atop of Pool A, which is why they matched up against the local Spear Heights, which finished second in the other pool. So we got an all-Sioux semifinal.
Yeah, the other. Sorry, go ahead.
Have you guys noticed that neither team has made a substitution, like even in the first quarter? St. Mary's isn't using the numbers advantage, right?
Yeah, one thing that I know, Bono, you talked about McKay for St. Mary's. I didn't see him a lot in the city finals, but he was a difference maker in the third quarter of that game against LaSalle. He had 2 big threes for him, and it was actually the first one he had was an air ball. So he's playing with a lot of confidence right now, because normally you'd see Nate Carter come in and a couple other rotation guys. So obviously Coach Nate sees something here with McKay, and he's been playing well so far this weekend.
Good hands there by Rains as Rains gives it over to Barkley with 7:11 to play. Barkley now over to Greco. Greco kicks it into the corner to Newberry. Newberry has Martin all over him. Back to Barkley. Barkley looks to penetrate. Nice defense there by Carter, and they're going to call it travel. And that's one thing that Ashton and I have talked about all season, is just the impact of Nick Carter. I know Reese Martin obviously won the MVP award, but you can easily make an argument that Nick Carter is the most valuable player for this team, because when he's out, if you notice, he doesn't come off the floor because he is such a monster inside the key, right? You cannot penetrate against him. He plays so well defensively. And what he does amazing, which I'm sure we'll see, is he stands straight up and down, right? And he jumps like that, so he can't get the foul calls against him. And when he's out of the game, it's a noticeable difference for the St. Mary's team. As Rains now has it for Superior Heights on the right side. Rains with Ocampo all over him. Over to Tranberg. Tranberg looks. He kicks it down here to Greco. Greco inside to Barkley. Back to Greco. Greco uses the screen, and Greco with the floater. Can't get that to fall. And now Reese Martin with it. Reese into the corner to McKay. McKay with a nice little move. Oh, what a cut inside to Reese Martin, and he's not going to miss from there, as he puts home 2 more to extend the lead by 4. St. Mary's biggest lead of the game. Here comes Tyler Greco. Greco over to Tranberg. Tranberg inside to Barkley. Barkley, what a pass! Now it's back out to Greco. Swings it to Rains. Rains, unable to connect. But Aaron, to your point yesterday, as soon as St. Mary's goes down back to this 2-3 zone, teams have a real difficult time penetrating.
Yeah, Greco's got to shoot that basketball. It was a great high-low action. They got the kick out to the backside for a shooter. That's the best shot you're going to get. He's got to shoot that basketball. It results in a turnover of Spear Heights. Those possessions are going to kill you here.
Nate Carter into the game for St. Mary's as Jaden Trudeau now has it. Trudeau kicks it over to McKay. McKay looks to make something happen into the baseline to Trudeau. Jaden Trudeau's shot's just off. Nice rebound attempt there by the smaller Newberry over Carter.
I think they're starting to get comfortable, St. Mary's, against this 2-3 zone. If you're Spear Heights, you might want to mix it up and go back to man, give them a different look. You might be able to buy 2 or 3 minutes here and maybe get a transition basket for a layup.
Here's Ocampo, tries to find Carter, unable to do so. That's going to be a foul against Nate. Coming back down the floor. Ashton, you've watched a ton of games, obviously, this year with me. Can we talk about a couple St. Mary's players who really stood out for you this year?
For me, their biggest one has been, the one that I didn't know coming into the season was Kirby Ocampo. I thought he's been sensational for them, and he deserved game MVP of the city finals. He was their best player on the floor. And then besides that, it's been for me Nate Carter. No, sorry, Nick Carter. Nick Carter. Yeah, sorry, Nick Carter. He's not overly tall, but he's so thick and so tough to move from down low, right? You put him on the block on offense, you're not getting him off of it. So
yeah, what he does really well is he uses his body like no big man I've seen in a number of years up in this senior division. He just knows how to get position, as McKay has it. Oh, McKay, what a crossover that was! But Barkley comes in with the stuff, and Superior Heights looking to transition here. There's Tranberg up top to Nero, who just checked into the game. Now you have Grant Rains. Grant Rains tries to find Barkley. Oh, and Barkley,
yeah, the high-low action. He's wide open.
Yeah, and there's Barkley back to Nero. And Nero's shot's well short.
Correction, that's is it? Yeah, sorry.
Great minutes here for Nero and Newberry early.
Here's McKay. McKay up to Martin. Martin back to McKay. McKay's three. That was just off the back rim, as Gabe Barkley, who is playing a little bit of point guard and a little bit of center today, which is a rarity.
He does it all for that Superior Heights, eh?
He does. Well, Superior Heights doesn't have a lot of size, right? That's their Achilles heel, so to speak, and it has been all season. Rains with a nice pass to Tranberg, swings it over to Greco. Greco with a nice action inside, but can't finish. And Reese Martin with the board.
I actually don't mind that foul there, Bono. That's a really good foul if you're Superior Heights.
Yeah, that was an easy 2 points.
If you're Superior Heights, you don't want that to be on Barkley, though. That'd be a tough one to take.
Yeah.
On him.
Matthew Malcolm comes into the game for Samson McKay. Now, Matthew Malcolm, we've talked a little bit about him all season. Matt Malcolm, when he was in junior, was an absolute stud, one of the best point guards in the league. And you know, with St. Mary's getting a lot of new players from out of town and things like that, he kind of fell down the depth chart a little bit. But when you have a guy like Matthew Malcolm that you could pull off your bench and come out here and play, that's outstanding depth, and that just goes to show how deep this St. Mary's team is, as Gabe Barkley tries to put one home. Reese Martin now.
If you're Superior Heights, your offense has absolutely disappeared too. It's there's only been 6 points in this whole quarter.
Yeah, the difference was, right, we saw Superior Heights actually make shots right at the beginning of the game, and they simply just
they've worked for some, like Aaron pointed to, they worked for some good ones. They just haven't they didn't take them, or they've just missed them.
Gabe Barkley on the rebound. Barkley looks to press the action.
St. Mary's struggling offensively too. They've been able to stay in this game.
Backside.
Tranberg with a beautiful move. Tristan Tranberg, the great 12 athlete, puts home 2 more, as Malcolm now has it for Mary's.
Actually, I think I got to keep saying that, because every time I say that, they make those mid-range jump shots.
I was just going to say, our partner here hates the mid-range basketball.
I do. It's layup for 3 for me.
Kirby Ocampo is going to go to the line for 3 more, and again, you know, a tough foul there for Superior Heights, as you cannot give St. Mary's free opportunities at 3 points.
But like I said, once again, it comes back to this. They struggle shooting the basketball.
Ashton, you and I have talked about this all season long, about how poor the free throw shooting has been in this league all season long. Aaron, I don't know. I don't know if you've noticed that over the years, how free throw shooting seems to have declined quite a bit. But is this just not something that teams are focusing on or practicing or what? But I mean, Ashton and I keep stats usually of free throws, and in every game, the free throw percentage has been under 50% combined by both teams.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it was. You guys had some old school coaches when you played basketball, but I had some old school influences and mentors on me as well. We start practice usually with 5 minutes of free throws, but you can't leave the gym without making 10, 20, 30. 100%. If we have a bad free throw shooting night, we would spend a half hour shooting free throws. It's super important. You're leaving points on the board.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's something that we've really noticed this year, and there's been a few close games where after the game you go back and you look at free throws and you see a team that lost by 5 or 6 points, but then went 3 for 15 from the free throw line, and that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
So it is the difference, right? I mean, I played for Coach Loris Petula, And every 10 minutes at practice, every 10 minutes, no matter what we were doing, we had to shoot 15 free throws.
Yeah, we would kind of have games within games where you'd play 5-on-5, 3-4 minute scrimmages, and whoever the winner was, whoever the winner of the scrimmage, we chose one guy from that team, and he had to make 2 in a row. If he made 2 in a row, he didn't have the penalty of what the losing team did.
Okay.
If he made 1 for 2, he'd add half the penalty. If they went 0 for 2, the team did the penalty together.
That's right.
Because you win as a team, you lose as a team.
That's right.
So at the end of the day, you're both wearing the same jersey in those games, right? So we kind of added competitive pieces like that, but I don't know whether these coaches are getting a little too focused on game actions and offenses and defenses and presses and all that kind of stuff, but oftentimes the game gets so easy, it's just spacing and play, right? Like sometimes X's and O's get thrown out the window.
Greco now. That was a beautiful play there by Ruscio to finish. A nice pass by Trudeau. And Rains now looking to penetrate. Rains with a nice take inside, and he gets the roll. But again, we're starting to see Superior Heights being able to kind of hit the middle and get into the key because, you know, Nick Carter's not on the floor, right? You're really seeing that.
They're not running a ton of offense, but they have guys that kind of know how to play the game of basketball. They just get to the rim, put the ball on the deck, put a lot of pressure on St. Mary's, and they've created some open shots.
Tranberg shot's just off, and now Rains with the board. Rains kicks it back out to Nero. Nero back to Tranberg. They're going to call it.
Hang on. No, easy.
What are they calling?
I believe Nate Carter got caught for lipping off there.
Yeah.
Elbow to the head.
He's gone. He's gone.
Right?
They just kicked him out of the game.
Are you serious?
That's an automatic ejection. Anything over the shoulders is an automatic ejection, and it was purposeful. It wasn't by accident. So yeah, that's automatic. He actually, I'm pretty sure, has to leave the gym.
Barkley knew it too right away.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay.
Barkley looked upset. That's why
that's a history call right there.
No, but I agree with you. See, and this is the thing. Everyone knows how Nate Carter plays and how Nate Carter is, okay? So he does not get calls that he deserves, and he gets overcalled on things that he shouldn't be, right? And I see it all the time. It's a reputation foul, and you know what? You are who you are. You are what your reputation says you are, unfortunately. But again, I think that's a call that if that's out of town with different officials who don't know him, you don't see it.
I don't think so. I didn't see it. I don't know if we can see it on replay here.
We're gonna see it in about 10 seconds here.
I'll tell you right now, if there's a difference between intensity, right, and just.
He is an intense player. Like I like
it's gonna be down here in the corner. Right here. It should be right around here. Let's see if we can
He's gonna go and find the body. Oh, he got hit in the back.
Right there. That's intentional.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Now that I see the replay, that did look bad. Yeah.
You never throw out or give technicals to the initiator. You always give it to the retaliator, right? Same thing in hockey.
Example, yeah. The retaliation gone.
Yep.
That's a pretty good back elbow there from an MMA.
It's a big shot for Spear Heights. Oh.
See, I only saw the aftermath of it, which I didn't think was that bad. But no, that's a call you got to make. You know, if he puts that elbow a little lower, it's just going to be a foul call.
Yeah.
But yeah, no question. After the first half here from St. Mary's, the Knights holding on to a 4-point lead, 22-18. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with second half coverage here from St. Mary's Gymnasium. I'm Tony Bonifero, joined alongside Ashton Young, Aaron Richards, Jay Houselander and Shaw Houselander in studio, and Chris Carr from a chair. We'll be back in 5 minutes' time. Thank you so much.
Are we muted? That was vicious, that elbow.
Oh, man.
You saw that elbow?
FIBA.
The high-low action worked in the first half for him, so I didn't. That's the reason to go away from it.
Yeah, no question. Barkley now on the inbound. Barkley to Greco. Greco crosses half. Kicks it to Barkley. See, I think this is what you want if you're Superior Heights. If they're playing man like this, you can get Nick Carter away from the key. I think that's huge. As Greco now has it. Greco.
There you go.
Greco with a beautiful take inside. What a pass to Barkley. Barkley with
Long
the baseline J. Here's Ruscio. Ruscio finds Trudeau. Back to Martin. Martin with a good hard take. Nice block inside by Barkley, but Carter with the follow to extend the lead now to 8. If you're Superior Heights, you need a bucket here. And St. Mary's seems to have all the momentum. What a pass! Newberry was out of bounds.
I know Nick Carter's a really great defender. He walks the line of, playing very physical. You love that about him. But I wouldn't hate getting Gabe Barkley the ball in the high post and kind of spacing the floor and letting him go one-on-one and see if the officials are going to do the same thing they did with Nate. Maybe they give Gabe Barkley the benefit of the doubt. Gabe could get some free throws here.
And
St. Mary's bangs a three.
Just drains another three for
That's a good timeout by Superior Heights.
Yeah, Superior Heights calls the timeout, up by 11. Ashton?
And this timeout here has been brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Let Expedia Cruises be your one-stop shop To plan, book, and safeguard all your travel needs, you can book online, by phone, or in person at Sault Ste. Marie Expedia cruise locations. The choice is yours.
In the junior action between Cora and St. Mary's at the half, Cora with a 22-7 lead. Cora, the junior team, obviously the strongest junior team in the City Loop here as they won the City Championship. Aaron, you had an opportunity to kind of discuss the Nate Carter situation. Do you want to update people with what's going on?
Head official Jeff Busnell came over, just gave us an update. The FIBA rules would dictate that once a player does get tossed for unnecessary contact, they are expected to leave the gym. Because he is a minor, they're allowing him to stay in the gym and stay on the bench. With respect to his eligibility for the next game, assuming that St. Mary's is successful here, they are looking into the Nossa Constitution right now to figure out what the rules state. I believe if it was the high school legislation that he would not be eligible, but we will follow up with an update on that as it becomes available.
As we say that, I don't actually see him in the gym on the bench.
Yeah, he's 4 guys in from the right.
He's got
he's in street clothes now. Okay, sorry.
Call him street clothes. Grant Rains now with it. Rains over to Greco. Greco looks to penetrate. He hits Barkley. Back up top to Tranberg. Tranberg back to Rains, but misses it. And it'll go to Barkley. Barkley tries to use the screen by Tranberg. Nice pass inside. Good defense by the Knights as Jaden Trudeau goes. And good effort by Grant Rains, and that's going to be off of Trudeau's leg. Superior Heights basketball going back down the floor.
If you're Superior Heights, you've given up some quality shot looks here for no reason, really.
Yep.
Where was the confidence? Like when you came out in that first quarter confidently shooting, you see that right now they're not looking very confident on offense. Every guy looks like they're passing up a shot.
No, St. Mary's has 2-3 guys trying to stop the drive. Like you got shooters that are open. Find a shooter, knock a shot down. If you're going to go down swinging.
Tranberg over to Rains. Rains back to Barkley. Barkley swings it. Tried to find Nero, but unable to connect. And Rains does a nice job of walking the tightrope to stay in. And Trudeau with great hands again. Man, Jaden Trudeau, he's long and he knows how to use those hands. Reese Martin now for the Knights. Lucio motions across.
Aaron used to beg for those opportunities, Get the shot on the backside wide open with the guy in the help defense.
Look, there's guys that make millions of dollars standing in the corner and making a shot. So I didn't make millions of dollars, but I made a living out there.
What an effort there by Nick Carter. Ran that down, made an unbelievable play, somehow got the ball to Trudeau, and Trudeau drains his second 3 of this morning.
Yeah, St. Mary's is starting to capitalize on their chances right now. They're starting to feel it, trying to open this game up.
For a team that, has been criticized all season for not being a great three-point shooting team, we've seen them drain a few threes today, more than we're used to seeing, that's for sure. As Greco now has it. Greco looks to Rains. Rains finds Nero in the corner. Nero back up top to Tranberg. Tranberg with a deep 3, and it's blocked by Carter. And that's a shot clock violation. And we have a technical foul called against Nick Carter. So Superior Heights will go to the line.
No, I think it might have been on Tranberg.
I think it was on 0 for Superior Heights here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was
he looked at Nick when he did that, so that's why I wasn't sure. But
that's frustrations boiling over.
Yeah. So that'll be a technical foul against Tranberg. I was going to say, because Nick Carter isn't much of a talker, so you don't usually see him say a whole lot. That would have been surprising. But again, to the free throw point, you wonder if that's going to come down.
Superior Heights has gone absolutely cold here in the last. Like they didn't score until 3 minutes left in the second quarter too, right? They had 11 after the first and scored 7 since.
They're trying to play the clock management game, and that's okay. But when you get into 10, 11, 12 seconds left on the shot clock, and you're not getting anything going to the rim, it becomes really tough for your offense to try and score.
Ocampo now over to Ruscio. Ruscio back to Ocampo. Ocampo with a nice move. Man, is he fast? And they're going to call out of bounds. Yeah. It's just Ocampo's first step is just so quick, right? It's not even that he's fast. He's just so quick.
He knows how to play the angles really well.
Tranberg. Oh, nice feed inside to Greco. Greco, you like to see him go up strong there right away, right, instead of fading. Good effort by Barkley.
Tranberg just had the ball and shot faked, and 2 guys on Spear Heights jumped at him. He had 2 guys.
And you know what, Aaron, that's something that Ashton and I have actually talked about this season. St. Mary's Achilles heel all season is exactly that. What they do is they leave their feet more than any team I think I've seen in recent memory, right? They jump, they want that block. And you wonder, if they are able to play a good team like Llewellyn, if Llewellyn will be able to expose that, with those little pump fakes, because again, St. Mary's, they want that big flashy play, and they love leaving their feet. Here's Greco. Greco up to Rains. Rains with an open look. Good effort by Trudeau to get back, but Tranberg has it. Tranberg over to back up top to Rains now. Rains with a good hard take, and Barkley tries to grab the board, but Carter is able to get it, and now here comes Reese. Good effort again by Grant Rains. Man, you know what though, this Superior Heights team, it's one of those teams that we kind of talked about it earlier. They have a bunch of football players trying to play basketball, right? And you can kind of see that when they're out there. But they deserve a ton of credit for coming out here today and playing hard, as Grant Rains with a nice elbow pull-up jumper, but can't find it. And Ruscio now with it.
This is a tough quarter to swallow right here for Spear Heights. You've only given up, I think, 4 points. Well, they've given up, 6 in the quarter? And the lead has been stretched because you've struggled offensively here.
Ruscio comes in and hammers home 2 more. There's another player, Marcus Ruscio. Outstanding player in his junior career, but then coming up to senior again. At the beginning of the season, he wasn't seeing a ton of action. I don't think he was starting for them, but he's worked his way into the starting lineup here. And that's just a testament to his effort and resolve this year, as there's a 3-pointer that's fouled by Reese Martin, and you're going to have Tristan Tranberg going to the line for 3 with 59.3 seconds to play here in the third quarter.
Here, during these free throws here, we're going to like to thank a couple sponsors here. We'd like to thank the Huron Superior Catholic District School Board, Algoma District School Board, KISS 100.5, Century 104.3, Freeze Frame Photos by Bob Davies, GFL Memorial Gardens, Domino's, Sault Ste. Marie, and Team Essentials. And the Children's Aid Society of Algoma. Children's Aid Society of Algoma is always looking for safe, loving families and individuals wanting to become foster parents.
And Tranberg's 2 for 2 from the line. Coming up in between the quarters, we're going to have a preview of the second semifinal between Llewellyn and LaSalle, a rematch of the city finals from Sudbury. Reese Martin now with it. Martin over to Ruscio. Ruscio back to Martin. Martin to Trudeau. Caden Trudeau with a good hard take inside. Can't get it to fall. Good effort by Rains. And here comes Superior Heights on the transition. Tranberg goes behind his back. Pulls it up, and nice block again by Trudeau. And here's Ruscio with 33 seconds to go.
That was another situation. He had 3 guys collapse on him. There's about 2 guys open on the perimeter looking for a pass.
Mm-hmm. Martin back up top to Ruscio. 18 on the shot clock. Back to Martin. Martin with a nice move inside. What a pass inside to Ruscio, and he's blocked by Tranberg. 15.8 seconds to play in the quarter. 11 seconds to go on the shot clock. We'll see what St. Mary's comes up with here.
3-2 zone for the Steelhawks on this baseline out of bounds.
Ruscio finds McInnes.
Trapping.
McInnes over to Trudeau. Back to Ruscio. Ruscio with a nice move out there. Back to McInnes. Caden McInnes is stuffed by Rains.
Get to the rim.
With 5 seconds to go. Oh, nice pass inside. Greco with 1 second. That's going to be a foul. And they're going to call that on the floor.
That's a tough one to call on the floor.
On the floor, yeah. It looked like he was going up for
sure. Yo, he was definitely trying to go up.
Yeah.
He got hugged hard.
But it looks like they'll be...
They're just going to call foul in the quarter,
I think the other ref might be talking about the shots.
Oh, they're going to call that the end of the third quarter. So after 3, the St. Mary's Knights extend their lead to 14. They're up 34-20.
What was that a 10-2 quarter?
They were up by
Was it
8.
2014 at half?
They were up by, it was 22-18 at half.
Also, 12. That's a
Superior
tough
Heights,
quarter.
yeah, Superior Heights only scored 2 points that half. Ashton, go ahead.
And during the break here between quarters, we'd like to thank Thompson Hardwood Flooring and Refinishing, Custom Installer, Restore, Sander Finisher, and MaximusRose.com. No brokers the same. They've earned their stripes by doing things differently, specializing in benefits and pension plans. Visit MaximusRose.com today for more information. And also, if you're interested in having your business highlighted on Sioux Sports TV, contact Sioux Sports at siouxsports@gmail.com.
So, Aaron, obviously we have the next semifinal. Kind of talked a little bit about it. Do you want to give the listeners a preview of the second semifinal that we're going to have after this?
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't get a chance to see a lot of Sudbury teams because I'm not coaching the Loop anymore, so you don't get a chance to travel. But I had some good conversations with Coach Beers and Coach Shute for both the Llewellyn Knights and the LaSalle Lancers. Llewellyn is, I think their record on the season is like 31-2. They have a couple tournament championships underneath their belt. They're undefeated against all North teams, undefeated in their Sudbury Loop, and they haven't really had a game that's been decided by less than 30 points. If I was a betting man, they come in as probably the clear-cut favorites to probably win this whole thing. St. Mary's is potentially going to have, another opinion on it if they get to the finals, but LaSalle, they're capable of beating them, so that all Sudbury semifinal is going to be real interesting.
And that game will come up at 10:30 local time. Tranberg now over to Newberry. Newberry back to Tranberg. Tranberg over to Greco. Greco gets bumped from behind. Tries to make something happen. Brains with it. Again, we're seeing nobody inside the key for Superior Heights at all.
The ball's not even going north-south, Bono. It's going east-west.
There's Raines with a nice kick out, and Newberry's three.
He's the. I feel like he's the one guy he's had the trigger ready to go right every time he's gone.
Yeah, the guy's a grade 11 too. He's getting a ton of minutes. This is a great experience for Newberry. And Superior Heights is sitting in this 3-2 zone only because St. Mary's wants to run this 1-4 high set. It's really easy when your defender's standing there and the offensive players just come to your zone, but they got to stop the ball in penetration. They can't give up layups like that.
Great effort there by Ruscio. And now here comes Tranberg. Tranberg looking to answer for Superior. Back up to Barkley. Barkley gets stripped. Again, you can't put the ball on the floor, I feel like, in there.
And just we talked about this earlier before the game, but if you're a Superior Heights with the short bench you have with missing a couple players for various reasons, would it have been an interesting thought to bring some of your best junior players up to gain this experience for potentially next year and the year after?
Yeah, it's a good call. I mean, Aaron, you coached for a number of years in the senior loop. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you have to kind of balance the line because you probably have some grade 12s on your roster that maybe don't play a ton of minutes. So it's very tough to manage maybe a grade 9 or a grade 10 getting more minutes than your grade 12. Those are tough conversations to have. I've had them with players before. They understand the trajectory and the experience is really important. We brought up Tyler Breakin when we hosted Nossa here back in 2017, or OFSA in 2017. We had a game against the number 3 Crestwood Prep, and he came in and scored 15 points for us as a grade 9 because it was spot-up threes. We had Jaden Fogg down low. We ended up losing the game by 3 points as like the last seed because we were the host team, and we didn't win Nossa that year. But we had a really strong team. He came in and played major minutes, and as a grade 10, he was a huge for us. So it was good game experience, but as a coach, always tough conversations to have.
It's one of those things, too, where you can even bring them up and let them sit on the bench even, right? Or
warm-ups,
like
right?
Yeah, give them that experience.
If you happen to get in a game where maybe you run away with one, let's say in their Scholar Hall game, maybe he comes in and plays 5-6 minutes for you because you're able to play your bench. Or even the LaSalle game, if it gets away 20, 30 points, maybe he comes in and gets minutes. Great point, Tony. I think there's probably time for those kids, but they just felt like it wasn't in the best interest. So
yeah, and that's a football thing too, right? Is when you're playing football as a coach, a lot of times, right, when the junior seasons are over, we bring up a couple of grade 10s just to practice and to play with the team and things like that too.
I
right?
think
Just get that
Cora
experience.
brought up Nick Nicoletta, I think, as a junior MVP in grade 10, and they brought him down to OFSA.
Yeah.
And when they had blown open the game, I think they were up by 30 that game. He came in and actually ran for 30 yards for them, right? Great experience.
Exactly.
So that's what we did at Superior Heights. We brought up every year. We bring up the junior quarterback to come to OFSA and get.
Yeah, you guys went on a bunch of OFSA runs, so
yeah, we went to like 6 of 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
But then,
what a play again. Sorry, go ahead.
We bring the best defensive player, like from each level, and then like the quarterback and the running back, just for that experience. And it's an extra month or so of practice, right? It's huge.
Caden McInnes now trying to make something happen. Turns the ball over and it'll be Greco now with it. Go ahead, Aaron. Sorry.
Good problems to have if you're thinking about bringing up 10s and if you're playing that late in the season, right? So
great play there by Greco, able to penetrate and get some action there as Ruscio now crosses half. Ruscio with 5:24 to play. Over to Martin, back down to Ruscio. Oh, nice help defense there by Newberry. And he kicks it to Greco now. Greco looking to penetrate again. Over to Raines. What a play there, and Grant Raines with the finish. The one thing,
that's a tough technical.
You know what?
That's just a kid playing intense. That's a tough technical to take.
I didn't hear what he said. I'm big with letting guys play with emotion, but you have to be able to harness it in a positive way.
I didn't even see it. What happened?
I think he was just complaining for maybe a foul call, but he was running back on defense. He didn't make anything malicious toward the officials with his body, but I didn't hear what was said, right? So that's a tough one, but maybe let him play a little bit here. I'm not sure I agree with that call.
No, me either. If you're not like creating a show with it, right? You're just like, hey, where's the foul call on the contact? That's just a kid playing hard, taking it to the basket.
I think even Coach Shackleton here is asking for an explanation. He's not too happy with that one either. You got to let these guys play with emotion.
You know what? It's one of those things, Aaron, too, and I say this, and I've argued this for years. I find officials sometimes are a little too sensitive, right? Yeah. You're out here, a lot of them are coaches. They need to be able to kind of, it's not showing you up, it's nothing. This game isn't, just kind of suck it up a little bit and we'll keep rolling, right?
Yeah, I agree. I was a young coach in this loop for years, and I felt like I never really got a lot of respect. Looking back at it as a middle-aged man, now I probably didn't deserve the respect at the time. But you got to give guys the benefit of the doubt if they mean well. We always put a lot of pressure on the officials, and these kids are 16, 17. Sometimes they have the wrong attitude, and they just don't know how to communicate effectively with officials or adults, right? So. Yeah. It's tough. Basketball's a learning experience. It's not just learning about how to play the game. It's learning about life, and that's a big piece, is being able to control your emotions.
And that's a kid that doesn't really have an attitude problem, right? Grant Raines.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good kid. So, I mean, that's one maybe you just let roll off there. But, I mean, what are you going to do? That's a tough one, too, because you're starting to get a little momentum there, 2 back-to-back baskets with a couple stops.
You know what I noticed here in the last few minutes is Spare Heights has switched to a 3-2 defense. So they got 3 guys around the perimeter, and St. Mary's running the 1-4 high set. When they get the ball to the wing, that person's able to attack baseline with minimal help because the bottom of the zone is actually shifted to the other side. I'm not sure if you're Spear Heights, maybe you look back going to man or even a 2-3 zone. You need to speed St. Mary's up at this point. You can't just slow them down and say, hey, you're going to get 30 seconds, put a shot late in the clock. You got to find a way to speed the Knights up if you think you're going to come back and win this game.
Caden McInnes now in for the Knights. Kicks it to Reese. Reese Martin. Back to McInnes. McInnes is just getting absolutely blanketed, but inside to Nick Carter. Looks like Superior Heights is just double teaming the ball, and that's going to be an offensive foul. I thought that was an elbow there by Carter, but they're going to call defensive foul against, I believe, Barkley. So
good point, Tony, on that last possession. They trapped the ball twice, so that's how you speed the game up, right? You try to get the ball out of the offensive player's hands, make them make a mistake.
Ruscio on the inbound. Ruccio's going to find... I thought he was going to find McInnes, but nice pass to Trudeau. What a block by Barkley. Trudeau back up to McInnes. Back to Ruscio now. Ruscio over to McInnes.
Trap him.
McInnes back up top to Ruscio. Ruscio over to Martin. Martin finds McInnes.
I don't know if
Ruscio. Go ahead.
I don't know if you guys were a fan of this, Ashton or Tony, even when you guys coached. Most teams don't want to trap like lane line to lane line in the middle of the floor. I'm actually a fan of it. Just send 2 guys at the ball, force them to make a pass. Maybe you get a tip. And Spear Heights is pretty long and athletic. You got to speed the game up in the last 5 minutes here.
Yeah.
You got guys in passing lanes, right? when you trap up there, you're gonna have guys.
Yeah, you're shooting the gap. You're overplaying, right? Like you start to play the cheat game where you're not just sitting back letting them do their thing.
And you're not saving for anything, right? This is go home or you're winner, you're done.
You're right.
So there's nothing.
Whether you lose by 15 or lose by 30, it doesn't matter. You gotta throw a haymaker here.
Max Schillingford into the game for Superior Heights. I'm a huge fan of Schillingford. He's another grade 10 athlete who got called up this year. And nice to see him getting some action as he's going to be a force in this senior division for the next 3 years. Tranberg swings it to Newberry, back to Schillingsford. Schillingsford off the bench pulls one up and just misses. There's Trudeau on the board.
That's one of the first skips of the second half for Spear Heights, and they got a quality look with somebody who just came off the bench.
Oh, that's a
great
tough shot
pass.
to take off the bench.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Cold coming in quarter 3.
And there's Malcolm off the bench as well. Trudeau with another rebound, and that's what Jaden Trudeau does. He can jump, and man, can he grab rebounds. He is terrific at that. And here's Tranberg. Tranberg looks. He finds Greco. Greco back to Tranberg. Tranberg over to Newberry, inside to Schillingsford. Schillingsford back to Newberry. Back up top to Barkley. Newberry has it. McKinnis all over him defensively. One thing about
late
St.
in the
Mary,
clock again, 2-1.
and there's a shot clock violation. You know, one thing, Aaron and Ashton, that I have been extremely impressed with over the last 2 games is the discipline in which St. Mary's plays their 2-3 zone. They pass guys off extremely well. Yep. They don't get out of their zone. It's just been, it is impressive to see.
Yeah, they own their areas, right? The low man in the 2-3 zone can't play above the free throw line, so it's structure that you preach in practice and areas that you need to own, help side, right? Really attack the ball handlers when they try to drive. So kudos to St. Mary's. They're a tough defensive team when they decide that they want to play.
We'll call that a pass by Reese Martin and
Nick Carter in the right position.
And Nick Carter, And Barkley now back to Tranberg. Tranberg with the 3. And Tristan Tranberg drains the 3. Again, that's something you'd like to see a little more of. And nice hands there by Greco. Greco tries to make something happen. Yeah. They're gonna.
Why didn't he go for the layup?
Yeah. You gotta go up.
With that being said, is that not? I'm just checking. Is that not a clear lane foul?
No.
Or is it because the guy was beside him?
Yeah, he was beside him, right? He didn't have a clear path. They were in line or parallel.
Tranberg will be inbounding here for Superior Heights.
Nice steal, though. Got to make that layup. Could have been an and 1.
Greco up top with it. Greco.
Shooter on the backside in the corner.
Over to Barkley. Tranberg. Tranberg up top to Schillingsford. Schillingsford with a nice take inside. Max Schillingsford with a great effort. Here's Martin. Oh, and Greco, another steal. Oh, and Greco again just tried to make the pass, but you can't do that against Trudeau. And McKinnis now with the 3. That's off. Nice board by Barkley.
That's a spot where Greco's got to be maybe a little more selfish there, twice in a row, right?
Yeah.
And one thing, Ashton, you and I have seen it all year. St. Mary's, the other thing they do really well is anytime a team puts the ball on the floor inside there, you're going to see it right here. Right? That was no foul call there, but anytime a team puts the ball on the floor,
they run and jump.
It seems like there's a run and jump, but there's also, they're able to get a steal, they're able to kind of knock the ball away because they have active hands, right?
When you're making a play offensively and trying to attack, you kind of put the ball ahead. And if the defender runs and jumps at you, now your dribble's not in rhythm anymore. You're trying to make a quick crossover, make a quick decision. They just attack the ball.
And a mass substitution here from St. Mary's.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Yep. Into the game for Mary's is Jace Pergamit, Kieran Derboka, Maddie Tucker, and Jack James, as Jack James has it.
Maddie Tucker, like Maddie Tucker's son?
Yeah.
That's the
nice.
Yeah. Pergamit with it. Pergamit kicks it over to, I believe that's Nari.
I told my wife I wanted to name our first son Aaron, and she just laughed at me. So we.
Yeah. Junior and senior, right?
Yeah.
She wasn't having it.
Nice move there by Nari off the bench. Here comes Greco now. Back to Barkley. Barkley inside to Greco. Greco back up top to Tranberg. Tranberg with the 3. Nice rebound there by Nari. Nari kicks it over to James. James has it. James with a nice little move. He's got Greco all over him.
Got to give credit here to St. Mary. They've held Superior Heights to 9 points here in the second half. It's a pretty good defensive effort.
Tucker to back to James. James now. Back to Nari. Nari with a nice little pump fake. Just off, and here comes Tranberg with 30 seconds left. Tranberg goes up strong, and he's going to go to the line for 2.
Are Greco and Tranberg true 12s, or are they 5th years? Do we know?
No, they're 12s.
True 12s?
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll be back, because having a couple of those pieces, having Braden Richard from the junior loop, who was nominated as a league MVP candidate, bringing up number 44 here, Shillingsford, big piece. Like, Superior Heights isn't going anywhere.
Well, you look at Superior Heights junior team even. I know they had a rough year, but they started a lot of grade 9s, and their bench in grade 9 arguably is the best group of grade 9s in the city, arguably. You look at Cora. Cora has Zane Murdoch. Marquise will be going to senior next year. So
Gavin Grisdale's coming up as a grade 8 too, so that even makes him stronger. He might play senior next year, so they get even deeper. But you're right.
Yeah, like it's going to be, Superior Heights does have a bright future here. With 20 seconds to play, it looks like St. Mary's just going to hold the clock here.
Well, we got one of those teams punching their ticket. Let's see if the next one